Hello, people. I really want to talk about spirits, you know, ghost, whatever, and especially evil entities too, like demons and all that kinds of stuff. The thing is, right, they are as real as you and me put together. And I'm saying that with a straight face. I have my fair share of experiencing shadow man, orbs, and things moving around the house I can't explain. I really want to tell you my story of my most terrifying experience I ever had. Yeah, I think it was in my teens, and we were living in Richmond, and I don't know what the number of the house is called, but the house is knocked down. It was a red brick house in Richmond. A red brick house. When me and my mum first moved there, we didn't really notice anything happening in the house and anything else. Didn't really know the history about the house and who lived there. And yeah. And the thing is, right, we're in the lounge room, right, and the light was on in the hallway. We were watching television. I don't know if we were watching a movie or a television show, whatever. But this goes back ages ago, when I was in my teens. I think I was 18 or 19 or whatever. Living with my mum, still am. No shame about that. The hallway light was on, and the thing is, right, it was just me and mum living there during the time. And yeah, we seen this shadow. When the hallway light's on, it was like reflecting light, and we seen this shadow just pass like that. We didn't actually seen this, whatever it was behind us. All we seen was the shadow. And me and my mum said it with a straight face, and we said, "Did you seen that?" My mum said it first before me, and my mum said, "Did you seen that?" And I said back to her, "Did you seen that?" And my mum just said, "Oh shit," like something like that. And that's how she said it, like with a bit of a laugh and a nervous giggle. Yeah, and that's when I actually understand that house was haunted, but we don't know if the house was haunted by an evil spirit or a good spirit. We didn't really know. Didn't really knew the history of the house that well and everything else. Yeah, but the thing is, I lived outside, in the granny flat outside. It was like another room. The house had, three rooms in the house, but the one I was living at was outside. It was actually connected to the house. And this was in the middle of summer, and it was in the middle of the night. And the room was starting to get cold. It was like in the middle of the summer. Like, I didn't have the heater on. I didn't have no air conditioner. Sorry, didn't have a heater. Sorry, rephrase the story. I didn't have an air conditioner or a fan to cool me down when I was outside. Living in the granny flat, it's connected to the house. And yeah, like, felt my room was getting really cold, and this was like in the middle of the summer. Even talking about it's make my hands shake a little bit. And you can see in the camera. Yeah, like, it was starting to get cold. I woke up, the whole room was getting cold, and this was like practically near the middle of summer. It was summer already, and I start hearing someone breathing very loud. Like, you can hear it in my room and everything else. And I had a door. It has like a glass, like the glass was like foggy where people can't look in and everything else. But I had like the light on outside where I was living, in the room I was living in. And I heard this scary breathing. It was so loud, and I looked towards the direction of the window of the door, of the foggy door. On the window, on the foggy window, on the glass. And I seen a shadow man just went like this and went down the stairs. And I just stood there for like a second, like 30 seconds, paralyzed with fear. And I just got out of my bed, I was scared. I'd never been scared like that in my life. Just got out of my bed for like, I was sitting there just for 30 seconds, just like, what the fuck I just seen? And I just got out of bed. 30 seconds later, I got out of bed, walked towards the door, opened the screen door, and opened the main door, the one with the foggy glass and everything else, and got out of that room and opened the door to the house and just ran towards the hallway and ran to my mum's bedroom and just practically slept with my mum all night. I was scared shitless, like literally scared shitless out of my mind what I just seen. Me and my mum are very religious and everything else. It was pretty fucking scary. My cat's having a fight. It was pretty scary what I seen. And my mum told me stories about our house down at Bellambi, where we were living in back in the 90s. The house in Curls Crescent. And she told me stories about that house too, but I'd rather let her tell you the story. But I can tell you one thing about that story. Our house my mum went to the priest in Corrimal, a Catholic priest in Corrimal, and the story, what I'm about to tell you, my mum and my father asked the priest to exorcise the house practically exorcism the house, more or less, because the house had an evil entity or a spirit in it. Yeah, my mum will tell you the story about that house too. Yeah, that really scared me when we were living at the house in Richmond. I never felt that afraid in my life. And yeah, never felt afraid in my whole entire life living, you know. Seeing a shadow man, you know, it was very tall individual, what I was looking at, like a very tall spirit, and fucking scared the fuck out of me, literally. And another story I can tell you, this was around about the time when my uncle passed away. I believe my uncle passed away practically in the night time. And I was suffering with insomnia back then, very badly. And I practically had a bath. And I think I had a bath at 1 o'clock in the morning. About to go to bed and everything else. Try to calm my body down with the hot heat and everything else. And yeah, I had a bath. And I was like cleaning my body and everything else. And, you know, cleaning my hair with shampoo. And when I was like washing it off under the water, like you know, when you wash your hair, when you have a bath and everything else, and you lift your head up and everything else. Yeah, when I lift my head up, I seen this orb standing, because I had the door open because no one was not there. My mum was about to go to Queensland to see my uncle, who was actually dying of cancer. And they were flying over there the next day. And seen this orb, this red orb, like standing in the middle of the hallway. And I just like looked at it, and I just rubbed my eyes and just like, you know, rubbed my eyes because I had a bit of soap in my eyes. And I just like, when I was like rubbing my eyes, the orb disappeared. It disappeared. It was like a red orb just standing in midair, just about that small. And the thing is, I didn't knew my uncle passed away that night, and I think it was when my uncle passed away, I think that's when he was coming, you know, to see me and give me his last goodbyes, more or less. And my uncle's like my father to me, and you know, he's like my father, and I looked up to him, you know, through my whole life. And yeah, like seeing that really not messed me up. It didn't feel, you know, evil, what was actually there. I knew something was there, and it was very nice. It was very nice. But when I woke up the next morning, I got a phone call from my mum saying my uncle had passed away during the night, when my mum and my sister were actually driving, flying over there, and, you know, flying towards Queensland. You know, they got the message from my I have to say she's my step grandmother, or my one of my sisters. Oh, sorry, not my sister. My mother's brother. Yeah, like one of my other uncles. You know, told my mum, your brother passed away and everything else. Our brother passed away, everything else. And it really hit me that night when I actually got told that information. And I didn't know how to tell my mother what I did seen that night. I only told her about a week later. And yeah, I seen, and not just that too, I even caught spirit orbs on my, on video, in one point, when I was living down at Belambie. Different house, is not the haunted house in Kells Crescent. It's a different house in a different street down in Belambie. We lived, me and my mum lived in Belambie twice in our lives now. But this was a different house. The house was not haunted, but it seems like I was visited by my uncle that night when he passed away, and I was practically in the bath when I actually seen this spirit, and I think that was my uncle who I was seeing that night. That's the thing is, and I can't really stand scientists and everything else, and you got all these skeptics and everything else, and they say spirits are not real and everything else. Spirits are real. They're real as you and me put together, and they're around us every day, Like, it's the old saying, what I heard, it's like, seeing is believing. And yeah, that's how I can describe it. That's how I can describe seeing spirits. Like, you can be a skeptic and everything else, and you don't believe in anything and everything else. Like, more or less what I'm saying, these skeptics, they haven't seen what people seen, Like, these skeptics and these, like, people who don't believe in spirits and everything else. It's like, seeing is believing, And if you haven't seen it, you can't really say anything, because I've seen a lot of spirits in my life. And they are real. They're real as me and you. And they're out there. They're probably walking amongst me right now, on this road right now. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Like, yeah, that's how I can just explain it. Well, this is kind of like a creepy kind of like video in a way, because we're coming into that, time, Halloween, whatever it's called. Just want to tell a story, my scary stories about me seeing spirits and all that. Yep. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you, and goodbye, and God bless.